and iTunes. So we got that popping. Y'all still there? It froze.
All right, now we good. You ready?
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go. Shout out to the real. Shout out to
the fake.
Shout out to that nosy chick. She better stay in
her place.
Get in
Get
line.
it low.
Punk. I'm here today with my co-host Chad the Saga and the infamous Billa. East Coast own. He got an interesting story. He comes from a very, very, very rich background. He's against classism. And I can't wait to hear his journey on hip-hop. And we're going to talk about it all, his influences, what hip-hop he likes now, the drill scene. We're going to get into it all. Infamous Billa, introduce yourself, baby.
How you doing, God? I'm Infamous Billa. I'm from New York City. I'm really from all across America, but I got a project coming out right now. It's called Malcolm A. Buy Anything Necessary. It's available for pre-order right now on all platforms, but stream that, pre-order it, write your boy a review. You already know. Man. We in here.
So that's your new project out right now?
Yes, sir.
How many joints on that?
We got 7 joints on that, and I got a project. I got a joint with Marley Marl, and I got a joint with 38 Spesh.
Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one that's out right now, right?
Yeah, the video's out right now for that.
All right, so let's talk about that real quick. How did that come about? How you and 38 Spesh connect?
So Spesh and I, we've been chilling for a minute, and we got together on some artistic shit. And it was definitely time to do a joint, so we came together and we did the How We Met joint. We shot the video on the east side in Harlem. Shout out to the east side. And yeah, we got the video out right now. It was streaming on Revolt and BET. And I got the other joint from the album, which Marley just broke on WBLS.
And what's that called?
That's called Family Pain.
Family Pain. Because I seen another joint, I believe, that was called Pain, I believe. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken. I think that was called Pain. Was that? No, it was Pride. That was Pride.
Yeah.
Pride. That was Pride. All right. So let's talk about Pain. What's that about?
5 years ago. So Family Pain, it pretty much talks about growing up and the challenges that I had to go through, because, you know, hip hop's all about overcoming challenges and going through certain shit. So it's just my take on growing up in New York City and growing up in family dysfunction, you know, and the impact that it had on me. So
That's what this is, highly dysfunctional, and that's what it's about. We come from dysfunctional backgrounds. I don't know about Chad the Saga, but I definitely did. So that's where highly dysfunctional was birthed from. So when you talk about dysfunction, what kind of dysfunction did you have in your family?
You know, like you said, I came from an interesting background, but that doesn't change, you know, the fact that humans are humans, and that the family unit can always be it can always be pulled apart no matter what you're going through, you know?
Yeah, I definitely can relate to that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a father. You know, like I said, we come from dysfunctional background, and family's not always family, you know, sometimes, especially when you make different choices. So your family and your dysfunction, did it come from hip hop?
Definitely not. I feel like the dysfunction in my family came from generations before hip hop was even invented.
So they was fucked up from the beginning. But where did the beef come with you and the family? Where did the split come? Was it before hip hop, or was it during when you started spitting? And let's get into spitting.
At the end of the day, we did have a split, and I'm gonna blame that on myself more, because, you know, I was growing up and making mistakes and hanging out with the wrong people. And my pops taught me a lesson. He said, get out of the house. So we had our split, but at the end of the day, what makes us grow is the fact that we're able to talk about it and that we're closer than ever now, you know? We
So
all
you
go.
You and
My
Pop, you squashed all that nonsense from when you was younger.
definitely. My
How, say that again?
pops is my best friend.
I love it. I love it. But what age did you get kicked out?
The first time I got kicked out was like when I was 13. I put them through hell. I ain't gonna lie. At the end of the day, but we
Listen,
grew up, we put each other through hell. That's what brings us closer at the end of the day.
mhm. What you was just being bad in school? What some of the things you was doing? Was you committing crimes, or was you just bad in school and just
I was
causing mischief?
selling weed. I hung out with my friends, I got brought home and shit like that. I was really out here wilding, but I would have whooped my own ass, if I was my own son. So it is
Mhm.
what
So let's talk about hip hop. What age did you get influenced to hip hop? And what I see the Notorious Big up there, but I want you to tell a story on my platform.
So the earliest I remember being influenced by hip hop, and this is the earliest I remember because I listened to rap on the radio and everything. Was I was sick from school one day, and my mom she bought me Ready to Die by Big. She used to buy me a whole bunch of CDs from Best Buy back when they had CDs at Best Buy. Shout out to Best Buy. And she bought me Ready to Die by Big, and I just remember listening to it, and it was a whole different experience, because my parents played like classical music in the house. They played rock, they played Motown, but hip hop was a whole different experience.
Mhm. So you come from a family of musicians and artists and stuff like that.
Definitely.
So do you see yourself branching outside of hip hop?
Honest to God, I'm an artist at the end of the day. So hip hop's always what I love. So I don't ever want to say I see myself branching outside of it, but I'm always open to art in the way that evolves and changes because it naturally does that.
As you have you experimented with the different types of music yet?
I know how to play the piano. I'm not great. I'm not gonna say I'm the greatest pianist in the world, but I know how to play the piano. I know a few chords on the guitar. I'm learning a lot about production from my boy Cinemax. Shout out to my boy Chris, you already know. So
Mhm.
I always just love to be in the music space, but hip hop's what I love.
Mhm. Shout out to the real Chad Saga. You incoming?
Billa, what's good?
How you doing,
Round
brother?
six, here we go. Um, let's take it back to the family situation.
That-
Um, growing up, because I probably could relate with coming from a upper class, upper middle class back then, family setting. Did you feel like you had to prove something to your peers out in the street? Like, because I'm sure they knew you came from money or whatever the case may be, but did you feel like you had like a chip on your shoulder regarding, I got to show and prove that I'm no floozy?
On some real shit, I honestly don't think so because at the end of the day, I never let money define me or my relationships with people. If people really define, what they thought about me, and use that in our relationship, I wouldn't want to be friends with them at the end of the day anyway. I always look, I don't want to sound corny or anything like that, but I always look past all that shit.
Okay.
It's we live in a country where it's taboo for someone who's considered to have this idea of money to not be able to hang out with someone who doesn't have it.
With that being said, so what made you go? Because I'm sure you didn't have to. What made you? Was it the thrill, like hitting the streets, hitting the block, pushing some grass?
Nah, it's actually really funny that you asked me that. So at the end of the day, I had tons of friends on the Upper East Side, tons of friends in Harlem, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island. But growing up, when I got kicked out early, and I'm just keeping it a buck, my friends on the Upper East Side, their parents would never let me stay over with them. Meanwhile, I was always good staying in the hood, and I love Harlem. My first show was at the Apollo when I was 10 years old, or no, I think I was 11 years old, and I remember just waiting outside for 12 hours. It's interesting. You can't crinkle the piece of paper. They give you a number, and the judges won't even consider you if you fold or crinkle the piece of paper because it shows like nervousness. So
Okay.
What did you do on the Apollo?
I rapped.
Let me hear what you rapped at 10 years old on the Apollo.
I don't remember that.
Yo, you on the Apollo? That's a big moment, man. You both like, yo, I can spit this on the Apollo. I'm freezing up. You don't remember that, man. You gotta remember that. Like, yo, I spit this on the Apollo one night. Did you get booed?
Nah, absolutely not. I remember the sample I spit over. It was an iconic sample. My only thought is that we start again. I forget who sung that joint, but that it was an iconic sample in there.
Mm-hmm. What about your first rap? Your first rap that you can remember writing? How old was you then?
My first rap that I could remember writing, it might have been for a girl when I was maybe 10 years old.
Mm.
For a girl actually in Sunday school when I was like 10 years old. And that's the only reason I really wanted to go to Sunday school at the time, you know, was because I really had a crush on her. I didn't want to wake up early on Sunday morning.
Mm. Did you ever bag her?
Nah, I absolutely didn't.
Lesson learned. Lesson learned.
Oh, did you rap the song to her?
Yeah, I did. And I don't know how she felt about it still to this day.
Oh, that was nice. Yo, I would have probably quit rapping right there. I'd have been like, yo, that's crazy. I ain't get the girl. Yo, how long did you ever see her again?
I don't think I did, honestly. I think she moved away. That's the fuck.
If she ever sees this, contact us, man, because we want to know what was going through your mind when he started spitting. Because she probably was she black?
Nah, she was a white girl.
So she probably was like, "What the fuck? What the fuck is this nigga doing?" Shout out to the real. So let me ask you this: being that you from both cultures, you from white, and you know you in the hood and you all that. What kind of pussy do you like?
I like all kind of pussy. I can't discriminate on pussy. Come
So
on.
so do you eat all kinds of pussy?
As long as it's clean pussy.
Yeah, we talking about clean pussy. So what's the difference between black pussy and white pussy?
Honest to God, depends on the girl. It really depends on who you're fucking with because I don't discriminate. I've dated all around.
So black pussy don't have a little bit more seasoning, nigga. You supposed to know the seasoning is in the melon, nigga.
You know
There's
what?
a little bit more seasoning in there, man. That white cooch be a little, it's like, you know, it's a little bit, it's like plain meat.
You call
It's like plain meat, my nigga. But that black cooch is a little bit seasoning. It comes with more preparation and a little bit more going on. And we want to know, do you appreciate that shit?
Do I appreciate that shit? I love that shit.
So since we talking about it, who did you lose your virginity to? What age?
Yo, this is so funny because we was just having this conversation. I don't remember. I was a wild boy coming up. I really don't remember.
Oh, now you don't remember because it could have been anybody then.
Two people. I'm really thinking about who was first.
What was it? The night at the Apollo?
Nah.
All right. How old was you then?
When I lost my virginity. Yo, honestly, I was really, really young at the time. It may sound crazy. I was 11 years old at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it with somebody older? Did somebody R. Kelly you? Or Mary J. Blige you?
It wasn't R. Kelly to me. I was in heaven. But
she was older though.
Oh yeah, she definitely was. She was like maybe between 15 and 17. The one that I'm thinking of who it might be.
So did she have hair on the cooch and all that?
A little bit, like a landing strip.
Do you like the bush? I like the bush personally.
It depends. It's like you know, it's like how females view men with beards. You know, you gotta have that shit. If there's hair,
it can't be nappy. No nappy dugout.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta have that shit like a landing strip, like 10-4 with landing. You feel me? Like a nice landing strip that you could see from 10,000 feet up.
All right, so you like a little bit of trim. I mean, I don't want beady bead either,
I
Chad.
hit the
I never seen no shit like
man.
that. Actually. All right, shout out to the real. Shout out to the real. So let's get back to this hip hop thing, man. So who are some of the artists you collaborated with?
I've collaborated. So the first artist that really gave me a chance to collaborate, the first big artist was Redman, and he surprised me in the middle of the night before he put out his project, and he had me on the joint. It's a banger with him, and I was definitely blessed for that. So I worked with him, 38 Spesh, Benny the Butcher, Mano. I got a track with Uncle Murder. Um, and yeah, I definitely work with a lot of New York artists. I want to work with any artist that I can, as long as we can create something musically that sonically sounds fire. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. So do you think that, what I'm saying, anybody gave you that work on any of them tracks? Do you think like, any that you got killed on any of them records?
Yo, honest to God, I ain't even gonna lie. That Spesh shit, that shit was crazy. But I ain't gonna. I got killed, but that Spesh shit, Spesh knows what he doing, man. Shout out Spesh.
Shout out to 38 Special, man. So,
Plus,
so let's talk about Cinemax, man. So what's you and his relationship?
oh, that's my brother. We got a crazy story. We got a
Mhm.
crazy story. We met through this music exec, and you know how music execs are in New York, like or anywhere at this point. Like the whole music industry is what it is when you're working on that scale. So we met through this guy, and he pretty much dropped me off at Cinemax's house. And you know what he said? He said, "You got to meet my rich white friend, Chris."
Mm.
What a God. So I met Chris, and it was an interesting story. He pretty much said he saw me burning all this weed every day. And he was like, this kid's definitely a drug dealer, this kid definitely ain't. So I was getting the Uber one day back to the city, and he was like, why are you spending all that money on an Uber? Just let me take you. And I was up at the time, I'm not always up. I go through ups and downs in life. So I had a little bit of money to spend on an Uber. So he was like, fuck that. Let me just take you to the city. So he's like, where do I drop you off at? And I'm just like, pull up to the Met Museum. And he was like, no one lives here. He was like, I've lived in all life and lives here. So I'm just like, pop up to the crib. And he's looking at all this art and shit, that he knows that like my family's into and all that. And yeah, he pulled up. We were hanging out for maybe like 2 years before that. It never occurred, it was never even a conversation. And he never treated me any differently, because we're just working on some dope music shit, and we both have an appreciation for music.
Shout out to the real. So is he are you guys and are y'all on the same label, or is he are you on his label, or are you his manager? What is going on?
Work together, both of our labels, because we're always putting out projects. He has his company as Slav. I have my label right now, which I'm working on, called Bill You Later. And yeah, we're just always collaborating on music and shit. He's also a fire cinematographer too, so
Mhm.
we're fire videos for this project to put out.
Mhm. Mhm. So what do you think so do you care about lyricism in hip hop? Are you just strong on lyrics, or are you you
Honestly,
really care for it?
of poetry. I used to read anyone from like Longfellow to Langston Hughes to Pac's poetry book to Robert Frost. I kept it very versatile. So poetry is really what got me into hip hop. And when I really started to learn about the samples on top of that, like Dre sampled Roger and Zapp and all the samples that went into Doggy Style, shout out Snoop. It really it opened my eyes to the whole world of music. So the way I look at hip hop is it was the first genre that really got me into music as a whole.
Mhm.
You know,
Shout out to the real. Chad, what's going on?
Regarding the music, right? Do you feel you have to go extra hard, no Diddy, regarding due to the fact that you're a white rapper? Do you feel like you have to go extra compared to somebody of our color, black, Puerto Rican,
Yo,
non-white?
on some real shit, there's always going to be a stigma about white rappers because at the end of the day, this is a black culture and this is a black created culture. But I feel like hip hop's about being authentic. So I don't feel like it's anything to do with being white. I think that the classism at the end of the day kind of makes me want to go harder. But at the end of the day, if you speak your truth, that's what hip hop's always been about, is speaking your pain and being authentic with it. So I never looked at it like a black or white thing.
Do you get compared to the other white rappers compared to the black rappers?
Definitely. You know what's crazy? I always do get compared to other white rappers because we live in America. We're still kind of a racial country and all that. But I wish I was just compared to other rappers, because I'm an artist, and at the end of the day, we're supposed to be pushing past all that shit, and just seeing who the dopest is.
When we talk about pain, man, what does rock bottom look like to you, or what did it feel like? And have you ever hit it?
Definitely. Absolutely I have. I'm a be real because I've always kept it honest in my music. I've been through my pain and levels of addiction before. I definitely had a problem when it came to the lean for a while and the Zans for a while. But at the end of the day, you experience things and you go through things and you go through the consequences. And the consequences for me and rock bottom for me, it really looks like, being broke, but it's deeper than that. It's being broke in your soul, because brokenness is a state of mind. Like, I've had no money in my pockets before and I've been really happy. But when you really put yourself that low, you're thinking about your health. You're thinking about the consequences behind it. You're thinking about if you said some stupid shit last night. And like, the whole culture of hip hop has always been anti-drug, and it came from the Bronx, where shit was going on and peaked at the time where there was an actual drug problem. And I just want to be one of those people. I smoke my weed, but I want to be one of those people to say fuck all that drugs and alcohol shit, because that's what rock bottom really looks like for me.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the real, and that's very important because we want people to know that your story, and you have seen it's just not from a privileged background and everything is all glory. So we wanted to know, I wanted to know your story and basically where that pain come from, and basically where that motivation come for to be great in hip hop. What motivates you when it's hip hop day? Because like you said, you really don't have to do it. You know what I mean?
What you said just now was really interesting because addiction, it doesn't discriminate against rich, poor, black, white, it really doesn't. And that's kind of the beauty and experience in it. And I'm saying I did all this shit. It's not worth it. If you want to find beauty, go do some other shit. But the beauty of experience in that is that we're all human, at the end of the day.
Oh, I definitely know, man. It's definitely not a judgmental thing. I had my struggles with addiction in my past. So I understand all of that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a wild boy, so I had some wild times in my life. And one day, that's what HighlyDishFunctional was about on the other side. And
Yes,
one day I'll be telling my motherfucking stories, and it's gonna get real crazy up in here. And shout out to the real. So, what motivates you and what pushes you in hip hop right now? You know what I'm saying? Where do you see yourself? Where do you want to take this thing?
On some real.
What would be success for you right now for this hip hop? When you think about you and this rap thing, what you
Success,
want?
leaving an imprint on the art and leaving an imprint on what hip hop is, because all the money in the world, honestly, doesn't make you successful. Like, you have some hip hop pioneers that haven't made that much money, at the end of the day, but they've made their imprint on culture. And that's pretty much what it is for me, because I know at the end of the day, I'm smart. I could make money and do all that, and I'm perfectly capable of that, and I'm in tune with that because money's important. Like at the end of the day, I don't believe in the phrase that money doesn't always bring you happiness, because you got a lot of people and families struggling out there. So it's really important. But and it's important to be financially literate. But at the end of the day, success for me is so much deeper than that. It's creating some art that'll impact people. Because I remember hearing hip hop and the way that it impacted me, and the way that I idolized, certain people like Rakim and Biggie and Wu-Tang, and that's success for me.
Mhm. Shout out to the motherfucking real. So, who's your top 5 white rappers?
Top 5 white rappers. That's actually a fire ass question. Hold
I
on.
mean, we got plenty rappers right now that are white, and we got Post Malones. We talk about,
I'm obviously gonna put Eminem in number 1. Like,
hold on. All right, let's stop right there. Now you said Eminem. How do you feel about the new Eminem shit?
all right, so his new album I actually liked, but the new Eminem shit, it's not that I dislike it. It's just that, the whole culture of hip hop is out with the old and in with the new. So it's just kind of like he's like my dad, and I don't mean that in a
uh,
bad way, because Eminem is one of my fucking favorite rappers of all time. But I'm always like, I don't know what it is. It might be my generation with our short attention span, but I'm always looking for the new shit, But M's number 1. Like
number 1. All right, let's keep going.
Eminem, Mac Miller,
Mac
um,
Miller.
who else? MC Search.
MC Search.
You
Third
can't
base.
deny it for the
Salute
cult.
to Search.
No, I
Salute to
love
Search.
third base. Third base got some shit. Third base. I didn't think you knew about that.
Nah, of course, definitely. MC Search, he put on Nas. Shout out MC Hammer too. I ain't want problems with him. Nah, I'm fucking with you.
Shit, I fuck with MC Hammer. I love Hammer. I grew up on Hammer. Fuck that. Hammer's official.
Hammer's a god.
Yeah, I don't know what niggas talking about. I used to do all that shit.
Shout out to Hammer's family in Oakland too, because I know a lot of them really good people.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to the real. What's the most important song you got out right now? You still need, hold on. You didn't give me 5 yet. My bad. I'm trying to get out of that.
Two more.
You owe me 2 more. Try to get the Hammer and all that.
The Beastie Boys, definitely.
All right.
I want to come up with a really good number 5. I don't want to say Bubba Sparks or Yellow Wolf.
Any of those cats? I mean, you got some new ones out right now. You could say Drake. You could say Drake. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
Shout out to the real.
I'm a number 5 for me, because that's not even in order, because it's the MC Search and M is great for different reasons.
Right.
Um,
No Machine Gun Kelly?
MGK, nah, I gotta go with real hip hop right now, and I'm a MGK fan for sure. But
What about Little Dicky? No Diddy.
yo, Lil Dicky's dope. I'm gonna go with Max the Demon,
Max the Demon.
and that's not real hip hop, but at the end of the day, that's New York shit. Like, I fuck with Max and what he did in the drill scene.
Mm-hmm. So what about drill music? Where you at with that?
I
This
fuck
project
with
you got out now, how much drill is in it?
no drill. It's all hip hop shit. But at the end of the day, the drill movement, I really fuck with it. I really, really do. I don't fuck with promoting violence in any type of way through music. Like, I'm a pothead, I'm peaceful at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day. But I really fuck with the sound, and that New York really got a new sound going, because the South had shit popping for a while. So I'm glad they the new out of New York.
Shout out to the real. Chad, you got something?
The label Bill You Later. How'd you come about that?
So there was this scammer. I'm not gonna say his name. I was about 17, 18, and he was teaching me everything. He was pretty much teaching me game about oh, your name's Billa, change that shit to infamous Billa. You're infamous out here already. And he was giving me like, you need a hashtag, every rapper got a tag. So Bill You Later was that because he used to go into nightclubs at the end of the when we were young, and we used to get mad bottles. And I'm not gonna say how we paid for them, you know, because this ain't black TV.
Yeah, you can definitely tell on yourself right here, man. You gonna do it for Vlad though when you get there, but you ain't gonna do it for me.
I
That's
got it. 30.
that's fucked up. You don't give Vlad all credit. I'm like, I told him to stop. I told him to stop. He wanted to tell his truth. Stop him. Fuck that. Come here, because everybody want to go to jail. Come right here.
Yeah, not crazy world we live in. It really is.
Shout out to the real. So, what about the artists right now? What you think about hip hop right this minute, man? The
I
shit
love
that's going on right now. Let's see if we're gonna keep it real.
And I love the fact that artists are finally coming out with diss records, you know, and it hasn't turned violent. That's really important for the culture. And I love how hip hop's developing. A lot of people in hip hop especially, they don't appreciate the evolution of art. And I always do. It's just hip hop is where my roots are. But I'm always in tune with the culture. I love what's going on between the drill sound, the southern sound, the New York sound. Yo, a lot of my friends from the East Coast have always got on my back for saying you really know all hip hop. Like you know hip hop from the Bay, you know hip hop from the South, and I just always like to stay in tune with it because art is art. You know, a lot of people stay divided by the section that they're in.
Shout out to the real, man. So it's not one of these new artists that you just don't like.
No, there's a ton of these new artists that I don't like.
Like,
But
like they just getting too much buzz out there.
oh,
A lot
absolutely.
of trash out there, man.
There's a lot of trash right there, and it's affecting the kids, you know, especially like what females are listening to right now.
Mhm.
It's definitely a messed up. It's a messed up industry in music. You know, they're just pushing a lot of the wrong things.
So is Hoes running shit in 2024?
Hove will always be running shit in some
Not
kind of
Hove, not Hove, Hoes.
hose. Oh,
Hoes
God,
running
Hose,
shit in
hose.
2024. Hoes.
nah, definitely hose is always running shit in some type of way. But yeah, they're definitely running the entertainment and music industry right now. Like you used to have female artists like MC Light. Shout out MC Light. And you used to have artists like that. And yo, at the end of the day, there's always a lane for hoes. I love hoes just as much as you love hoes, but it shouldn't be the main thing that we're promoting in hip hop because hip hop culture to me is beautiful culture, you know?
And what do you think about the companies and the radios that they do? We do have artists out there that do say something different, but they're not being pushed out there. They're not being promoted. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's sad. You know,
No,
so
it definitely is sad. And I think that there's definitely a reason behind it because it's pushed in movies and it's pushed in politics, it's pushed in entertainment. It's pushed in every facet of life. And I think that there's been a decline in art because everybody's just focused on the buzz right now versus the quality of art. Like me and Chris was just talking earlier today, like we miss groups like Tribe Called Quest, you know? I miss groups like Jurassic 5 and shout out Jurassic 5. I opened up for them.
shout out to that. But do you think that groups ever return? I mean, right now it's all about self right now, and it
Honestly,
shows in the whole culture.
I ain't got nothing to say about what's going on with Diddy because there are a bunch of different theories. What I do know is they're lessening the play of Puffy and a lot of artists right now. So there is an avenue right now for artists to open up and to create that new lane. I just think that the market needs to be there for it. And the market definitely is. I just think that people have been dumbed down with short attention span music and music with the wrong message. You know, I'm always for artists speaking their reality, even if it is the wrong message. If you're speaking your reality, that's what hip hop is. But I just feel like it's penetrating the radio right now. Paul.
Mhm. Shout out to the real. So, in conclusion, man, tell me how this year got to end for you right now.
Me right now, first of all, I just want to be healthy. happy. That's number one above all, because if you're not that, it's hard to create good art and be successful. I definitely want to have my album charted. I definitely want to release a bunch of projects this year, and I just want to be there for my family,
Shout out to the real. When it comes to drugs, have you ever tripped off mushrooms or acid?
Oh, definitely. Honest to God, mushrooms is the only drug on the planet that I'd be open to still trying a few times a year, because that shit is actually, I feel like a few trips a year, it ain't the worst, it's natural.
Yeah, tell me about a good time that you tripped out.
So Chris, one time, he took me to his old neighborhood in Jamaica. I'd never been to Jamaica, Queens, and he didn't know this because he doesn't do nothing but smoke. But I had a few caps of shrooms before, and I just was starting to feel a whole bunch of energies. And it was a wild. I definitely had a good time. I always feel my brain clears when I do it, but don't do drugs, and if you do them responsibly.
You still ain't tell me what you did though.
We just drove around Jamaica. We went and got some food.
You be glossing over a lot of shit. You be just spinning, go right over the shit. You ain't gonna give me nothing.
Nah, because it was a whole experience. I just remember the drive. I remember going to get food, and then I remember going to Ricardo's Steakhouse in Harlem. Shout out Ricardo's, and I just remember my mind was reset.
Shout out to.
I used to do acid when I was in college. I did acid a few times. I'm not a big fan of it. It kind of bugs me out. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a different trip. It's definitely a different trip.
Yeah, the last time I did, thought I was going.
Back in high school, we played around.
What did you do?
Ramapo had all those Beckies.
Yeah, what did you do when you was on it?
Yo, I remember, so I was in college, and it was a hippie kind of school. So it's the type of school where the kids go and swim in the river. And so we went and swam in the river, and I just remember seeing the water, and I felt really bugged out. Shrooms feel natural to me. Acid is a little crazy for me.
What about you, Chad? What did you do? You little druggie?
So the thing with trips, right? So like we were saying, that the shrooms are a little bit more mellow. I guess depending on the dosage, right? The tabs, we would go down to Fordham Road and cop over by right by the L train, not the elevated train right there on the corner. There'd be a bunch of people. There's a park over there. We would get mess tabs. I think they were like $5 a drop, and we would drop them. But you hallucinate. I'll tell you that you hallucinate. You don't really, when you're asking what did you do, you really don't have to do anything. You could sit in a room with a bunch of art, and that art will come to life on you while you're just sitting on that chair. A good trip, those paintings are coming to life, like coming out at you, basically. So, I mean, we did a lot of that most of the time, chilled at somebody's house. You really don't want to be tripping and being out in the street, because God forbid you're on a bad trip, you may have some problems. You may get locked up on some fuck shit.
Well, I gotta say, you guys suck when it comes to the stories of tripping, because you guys don't know.
Oh, I got an amazing one after you.
Oh, I'm not going.
Okay. Me and my pops went down to Mexico to do this thing called ibogaine, which is it's a concentrated form of ayahuasca. And what it does, there's a lot of studies in the addiction field right now. It has an 85% success rate of having people not relapse or do drugs 10 years after they do it. And there's also this thing called the toad, which I haven't done.
I heard about the toad.
Yeah, Mike Tyson, all them been promoting it. But I went down to Mexico when I was 13 or 14 with my pops, and we tripped ibogaine, and it's a 12 to 24-hour trip. It's the most hellish trip in the world. You're vomiting, and you don't sleep for the whole night, but you wake up out of it literally, because it was the morning when it finished, like heaven, like you've never drank, smoked, done anything in your life.
Shit. That shit sounds good.
It is. And you do it in a clinical setting. And what they do is they could stop the trip at any minute, and they feed you healthy food for the whole week, and they reset your body. It's actually really, really cool.
And how much does that cost about?
When I did it, now I have no idea, but when I did it, it was like $2,000-3,000.
That's not bad.
Not bad at all for the place that we were at in Mexico. It had a hot tub. It was like a resort. It was like a health resort. It was the dope.
And you just cleaning your system. I guess
Yep.
you're throwing up shit.
My friend's pops just did it, and he's drank his whole life and has never had a drink since he did it.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, shit, I gotta do that then.
Yep.
Oh, you say is that?
It's called Ibogaine.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. Shout out to the real. So
how come they don't really promote that though?
So it's really interesting. The state of Kentucky, which has one of the worst opioid crises in America, they wanted to push Ibogaine instead of Suboxone and Methadone to get people off opiates, because what it does is it completely gets rid of your withdrawals for benzos or opiates. You just do it, and it's out of your body and out of your brain. And whatchamacallit, one of the pharmaceutical companies, I know which one it is, I just don't want to say it. They said we don't want
to black market, baby.
Nah, yeah, definitely. But they didn't want to pass it in the United States. A lot of my friends who are actually in the field of addiction, who are sober now, they say it's the number one thing they're talking about at addiction conferences right now in 2024.
And we believe you. So shout out to the real. So what you're voting for Harris? Or are you voting for Trump?
I love Trump, man. Trump is a gangster to me. And I never used to like him, and I didn't vote for him in the first. I'll admit it, I voted for Joe Biden because of all the division in the country at the time. And it was the dumbest thing I ever did.
I mean, he's really bad. I mean, I don't really. It doesn't matter in my life. It doesn't matter who's president. But
yeah, it's not
Biden,
about
Biden didn't do shit. I know that.
Yeah, it's not about race or anything like that. Like, of course, I want the first black woman to be president. You know, at the end of the day, she was just a prosecutor.
She's not black. She's not black. She's a little Indian. And she had a little. You know, she's a few black penises in a day. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out Montel.
Shout out to Montel.
Shout out to Montel.
But yo, Chad, would you hit that though? I'd be looking at it. I'm like, I would probably hit that.
Yeah, why not? I heard her sister's not bad either. Somebody showed me a picture of her sister. Her sister looked good too.
Yeah,
even if she didn't look good, she's running for president. She's the possible female pick. Like, that putting your dick in that could lead to a lot of power, you know?
So if you had a celebrity to bang, who would it be?
Megan Good.
All right. So who the second person got to be?
Kim K.
Kim K. What if they both had a yeast infection? Which one would you hit?
Megan Good. If I had to pick.
Shout out to the motherfucking real. I don't know. I think I gotta hit Kim K, man.
Kim K.
I gotta hit Kardashian. Fuck that. I gotta be part of the fraternity. Fuck that. Ruin my life, baby. Shout out to the motherfucking real. Anyway. Oh yeah, we gotta talk about this real quick, and it's not a laughing matter before we leave out of here. Did you see what happened with the shooting? Talk about it, Chad. The cop that shot the other day. The other day.
So I want to get her name right. I want to say it's Sonia Massey. So basically, Sonia Massey called the police because she thought somebody was breaking into a crib. Police arrived. They entered the crib. She had a hot pot of water on the stove. Two officers entered. One officer had the body cam. I don't know if both had the body cam. I saw just one body cam. They told Sonia to take the pot off the stove to prevent any fires. She grabbed some mittens, grabbed the pot, and moved the pot. It looked like towards the sink. One of the officers, I guess, felt that she was making a movement or whatever, and they said,
"Nah."
The officer said, I'll shoot your face off, or I'll blow your face off. Don't do it, something like that. And next thing you know, he shot her. I saw some videos actually today where they show her hands go up and she goes down. I don't know when the shot happened, but
She was Spanish, black.
She was black.
She was black. Her hands were up though. The officer did get fired because they do have it on body cam. No one's saying the officer was justified in the shooting. They're saying clearly he was in the wrong.
Yo, Billy, you ain't say shit?
What's up?
Yeah, no, I definitely saw it, but I never saw a picture of her.
Yeah, I mean the picture's out now, of course, because you know.
Yeah.
But her father's been online a lot.
That was some sad shit.
It's gone down.
And I just want to say my little piece. The lady was nowhere near the cop. She was way by the stove. He told her to take the hot water off the stove, and that's exactly what she did. She was a harmless looking lady, man. She wasn't.
We live in an ugly world, you know, where people want where psychopaths get in positions of power like that. It's crazy.
The thing is too, regarding that situation.
You look like somebody, man. I can't put my name on it right now.
I feel police.
Biden, man.
I feel police need more training dealing with EDPs, emotionally disturbed people, is what they call them. We don't know what was going on with that lady. You know what I'm saying? But to be shot in the head for a pot of water, I think that's a little crazy. What happened with the tasers? You know what I'm saying? The tasers aren't effective anymore. What's going on with that?
There's so much that they can do, man. There's so much other things that they can do. And that was excessive force. And that was just some sad shit to say. And, you know, it's crazy that we live in a country that shit can still happen, man. And never mind that she's the one that called the cops because she felt like somebody was breaking in her house. Where does that come in? Why are you in there messing with her? Why do you care about the hot water on the stove?
Right.
Her whole voice was so sweet and delicate. She wasn't aggressive, nothing. And I just can't see how anybody can justify that shit. How we still live in a world where that type of shit is okay. That motherfucker should be hung by his neck. We should get a firing range. We should tee off at his ass. But now you don't look like you don't look like Biden. You don't look like Biden, hey, but you look like somebody else. I just
he look a little like what's his name? Kiefer Sullivan. The dude whose pops just died. Kiefer.
Oh shit.
A little bit.
You do kind of that could go. That could work. That could work, man. That could work. That could work. I'm gonna find them too. I'm gonna find the pictures of these guys. We're gonna put them all next to you. So listen, signing off. Tell people where to find you. Tell people to look out for. Tell people where to get you at and what you got coming up next. Shout out to Chris Pinsett, Cinemax. Yo, Cinemax. I know you seen my text too. And I know you seen me hit you up, man. And you just ignored me like that. And that shit is crazy, bro. What kind of shit is that, man?
I ain't see a text.
I did nothing to you.
Are you talking about Chris, not you, Bill?
Not shit. You. I'm talking about Cinemax, man. I hit him up, and he just ignored me, man.
Oh shit.
And you know, I don't get it. We got to cut this shit out. Yo, Cinemax, man. You said you was gonna hook me up with 38 Spesh. You said you was gonna hook me up. I want 38 Spesh, and I want Redman. Get him on the line. Let's get this business situated, and let's get him on the show, man. Shout out to the real. Give birth. We get him on the show. Make the platform bigger. Everybody wins.
Shout out to the real.
Yeah, shout out to the real. So signing off. Tell people where to find what you got coming up next and all that good stuff.
Pre-order that new project on Apple Music. Malcolm A, Buy Anything Necessary. And follow me on Instagram, INFAMOUSBILLA, baby. We got some shit popping for 2024 and 2025. We going live.
This is your man Smash Evans. 2024, only thing that's popping is that pussy. Shout out to the real. Shout out to the fake. Shout out to that nosy chick. She better stay in her place. Oh, I forgot one thing. I forgot one more thing. Infamous Billa. You gotta say shout out to the real, highly dysfunctional, man. I almost forgot.
Shout out to the real, highly dysfunctional.
See you later. We'll get with you later. Yo, Chris Pinsett. Get at me, Chad. I see you on the next episode.
Salute, my brother.
Highly Dysfunctional. Get in
See you later.
line. Hey.
Peace.
Infamous
Peace,
Billa,
family.
thank you. Appreciate you, King.
Appreciate you, God. One.